Welcome back. Well, today we are looking at a news clip that involves the Watchtower. So anytime we see that the Watchtower is involved, we take a look at it and see if we can put out any advice or share anything that's new. So on this particular newscast, we're going to get into it. It's from the New York Post. But it's about this fella, this Brian Laundrie, and he had a mania. He kind of went berserk or whatever, and he killed his girlfriend. But the FBI went in and they were looking through things, and they found the Watchtower. So what I think, as a former JW, a former pioneer who was out there seeking to talk to anybody, we as Jehovah's Witnesses would go out and look for anybody that would talk. We're not trained into family therapy, anything psychological or anything like that. A lot of the ministers out there that are actual ministers actually take 7 years of training, like university degrees. And they get trained in all kinds of things. But we have no training. We're going out there. Anybody that will talk to us, we will talk to them. And I put myself in lots of situations where it could have been bad. But someone says, hey, yeah, come on over, I want to talk, or they're a little down or whatever. You talk to them, they invite you in, and you always leave some of your magazines. Usually you don't leave the Watchtower, though. Usually it starts with the Awake magazine. Just light stuff. And today, in today's age, when this article was out, I'll just get it on the screen here. This FBI investigation was... now, this article was released just the other day, June 3rd, 2024. So it's brand new news. And they're looking into this. Now, the murderer, Brian Laundrie, poured his sick mind onto paper, scrawling notes about his mania and doodling skull graphics with words trust no one and kill. New FBI exclusively obtained by the Post revealed. Now, the writings and other evidence were photographed by the agency during a raid of Laundrie's family home after the body of Gabby Petito, the girlfriend he murdered, was found dumped in a remote Wyoming camping area in September of 2021. Now, Brian Stewart, Petito's family lawyer, said he was shocked by the 23-year-old Brian's scrawling and other chilling evidence recovered by the officials of Laundrie's Florida residence before Brian was found dead by suicide in a nearby national park. In retrospect, it tells us that Brian dealt with mental health issues and was clearly a narcissist and a manipulator capable of violence. So I just want to stop there. This just goes to show that a lot of these people that Jehovah's Witnesses are calling on, ones that are attracted to the religion, may have narcissistic tendencies. Why? Because the religion teaches that you're the only ones. You're the chosen ones. You have the truth. We have the truth. We're going to show you some magazines. We'll just go take a look at some magazines around this time to see what he was reading. But it says, it tells us Brian dealt with mental issues. He was clearly a narcissist, a manipulator, capable of violence. And that's just scary, the article goes on. He added, when presented with a skull graphic and the rest of Laundrie's writings obtained by the Post under Freedom of Information laws. So here's some of the stuff. Trust no one. Trust no one. Isn't that what the Watchtower says? Trust no one. Don't trust the outside world. Just trust us. Trust no one. That's all this whole page was doodled about. Trust no one. So the FBI raid at Laundrie's Florida home seized various notes from the killer, including a graphic with the words trust no one and kill repeatedly. So there he is. There's a picture of him. And Brian Laundrie's fantasized about killing himself in a diary entry years before he turned a gun on himself. following a day-long manhunt in 2021. So along with the drawings, the FBI search also turned up notebooks belonging to Petito, as well as hundreds of bullets, several magazines, and a bill of sale and handbooks for Ruger 380 and a Glock 490 pistol. Now, officials also recovered a compound bow fitted with a rifle scope, bolt-action rifle magazines, brass knuckles, a thick wad of cash, and copies of the Watchtower, an illustrated religious magazine published by New York-based Jehovah's Witnesses. So I thought this was bizarre. They just threw that in there. Just threw that into the whole article. I'm just reading this along with you guys. There's a Watchtower in there. Obviously, it means something to the investigators, maybe. Laundrie was also in possession of this novel choke. So it goes on. I'm going to not get into it, but there's all this stuff. They have pictures of everything he had. Writings, his diary. There's a picture of him and his girlfriend. You know, everyone looks normal in these pictures. You know, you call on this guy, Laundrie is the guy, right? You call on him in the door-to-door work, he seems normal. Hey, why don't you come in? Come on in. And so you have a chat with him. He's a narcissist. You say to him, well, we're the only ones that have the truth, because the magazines get into that. And I'll show you in a minute. But right around the time, it gives the dates, 2018 is when he potentially killed this girl, 2018, and then he's been on the run kind of a thing. So I was going to take a look. I looked at some of the magazines. There's another picture of him, you know, just a normal-looking guy. Strangled his girlfriend. And this is a picture they were pulled over by the police. Police got that on camera, and they thought they should have investigated it more, but they didn't. Here she was under stress, under duress with this guy. So it says here the couple were stopped by the Moab police who allegedly ignored red flags that Laundrie was hurting Petito. So that's the girl. Really good police photo. 2021, that's what it is. So there it is, 2021, right on the police photo, 08/12. So that would be what, August 12th. So we'll go take a look. That's September, August, September, July, some of them magazines. We'll take a look at them. The Pain Burns Fresh. This is some of his stuff out of his diary they put in there. But it was, I didn't want to read it all. It wasn't that nice to read. But this guy had issues. I don't know why they put the Watchtower in there, but obviously in amongst all of this, the Watchtower was supposed to go in here. It was supposed to be revealed to us, to you and I, that the Watchtower was part of this guy's mental programming. So I guess my defense for all of the JW people out there that are out knocking on people's doors, just trying to help people, is they're not trained. I wasn't trained properly. I was doing it as a pioneer. I wasn't trained. I could have ran into this guy, just a normal-looking guy, and been in there studying with him and talking about the narcissism in the religion. We're the only ones, and everyone else out there is wicked. You know, the whole world is run by Satan. You know, when you're a Jehovah's Witness, you actually believe that, and you actually feel like you walk around, you feel like you have the truth. You actually look above people. You can't help people that way, by the way. But we look above people and we figure we have the truth. And we have the Watchtower, because the Watchtower is going to guide us to help this person. But folks, it's not working. The Watchtower, none of the people out there, the ministers, and even little kids are becoming ministers. Even before baptism, they call it an unbaptized publisher, a minister of the Watchtower. So it's risky business, folks. Risky business. There's people out there mentally unsound, not sound mentally. And as people, as Jehovah's Witnesses, that's why I don't follow it any longer, because I don't believe that children should be out in the ministry. In fact, I don't believe half the people want to be out there. But it's forced upon the people by a governing body, by 9 men. This is not scriptural at all, the ministry. But anyways, we're talking about this watchtower that's delivered, and this guy could have studied it. Let's go take a look at a few watchtowers. We'll get right back to you. Okay, we're at the Watchtower Library. If you just go into JW.org, you hit Library, and you can just hit Magazines, and you can pull up all the magazines that people were studying. Now, I went to 2021. That's when they were talking. Looked like it was August, late August, that they figure that this girl was strangled. So who knows how long this guy was studying, how old his magazines were. But you just go into this tool. We can look October, August. So if he was in August, maybe he did some July meetings, not sure. When I look at some of this stuff, there's nothing really that's striking. Can you help disciple make? It's all about getting the rank and files to do more preaching and making them feel guilty, if they're not preaching. That's what these magazines are all about. So this one here is, what can I do to, here it is, how would you answer? Why must we be preachers and teachers of the good news? What motivates us to make disciples? How can we overcome challenges conducting Bible studies? So this is more for the rank and file, these Watchtower studies. I don't see using these Watchtower studies for new people, but he could have had them. There are other Watchtowers. I'll show you that in a second here. If you come in here, there's the Watchtower non-study edition right here. You can search that for 2021. And there's only, 3 of them. So, maybe the summer one, the middle one is this. Is a better world near? Why we need a better world. They usually talk about all the bad conditions in the world. So disease, pandemic. Look at all the bad conditions in the world. Oh, this world's so bad. Poverty, hunger, pollution, global warming, crime, violence. Clearly, we need a better world. A world where there is perfect health, safety, security, abundance of food, justice, global peace. What, though, do we mean when we speak of a better world? What will happen to the world we live in now? And what can we do to live in a better world? So this is kind of how it goes. So why do we need God's kingdom? So, it goes from one article to another. Is this world going to end? Okay, now we're getting into the end thing. They like to talk about the end. They say the world's going to last forever, but problems and wickedness will be just a little while longer. Psalms, they love this scripture in Psalms. They use the Psalms as songs that the Israelites sang, but they base their whole religion on those songs in Psalms. An end to human rulership. See, here's a jive on rulership, right? Human rulership. Governments, it's, what does it mean? Humans were not created to rule themselves. They do a poor job. So the human rulers are no good. You see, the Jehovah's Witnesses believe that the governing body, the 9 men in New York, are going to be the rulers that take over kind of intermediately. Maybe some of these people of old, like, I don't know, Moses or Elijah or someone will be resurrected to help them out. But they believe that their religion is going to be the foundation that ushers in God's righteous new paradise. And so that everything else around us is wicked and false. And this is why I believe people get confused. People that have mental problems, that are dealing with all kinds of issues, are going to get confused with this religion. The end of the world is near. This is what they're talking about. How will it end? When will it happen? Can you survive? What will the world be like? The Bible's answers to these questions, we'll talk about them. Jehovah's Witnesses will be happy to help you. You see, they figure they got it all figured out. how the world's going to end, when it's going to end. And I noticed in their Watchtower study articles, they were really driving home on the 1914 thing again. I just took an opportunity here and spent about a half hour going through a bunch of magazines. But it is sketchy with these magazines, as to what they could do to someone that's having difficulties. So my advice would be to Jehovah's Witnesses to be careful. I would be careful. There's a lot of people out there that need professional help, need not end time stuff, not information that everything's wicked around us. So that's my advice for today. And really, Jesus said it's about loving our neighbor, being a good neighbor. We get to know our neighbors. There's nothing sketchy about that. And this is the idea. You love your neighbor. You get to know your neighbor. You invite them over for a coffee. Hey, neighbor, what are you doing this summer? Maybe let's go for a picnic. Take the kids out and to the ball diamond and play baseball or something. That's what they do with neighborhoods. Sometimes they get together, and families do that. They get together and spend that time together. We get to know people that we know and work together and help them. You're saying, what about helping all those ones? Well, are we really helping people by dropping off watchtowers? And are we really helping them mentally? Are we qualified to help someone mentally? Someone that has a gun under their mattress, loaded, ready to do himself in. I was never capable of that. And even when I went out, I knew I wasn't capable of any of that. But yet Watchtower sends its people out there as ministers, supposedly capable. But folks, we live our lives with love, love our neighbor, get to know our neighbor. We don't have to deal with all of those things. Okay, well, that's all the wisdom I have for you today, and keep living your day with love. See you in the next video. Bye for now.